Let's go. Before I start, how does the new microphone sound? Are we sounding good now, boys and girls? Hopefully, all those microphone troubles are behind us. Let's go. Had to put in the old mic here. That new one was just garbage. It was my new headset, but apparently it's trash, so. How is everyone doing? Let's go. AMC, breaking records again. The rest of this quarter is going to be amazing for AMC. It's from here on out, it's just going to be amazing news at the box office. Now it's going to start getting fun again, so we'll bust into AMC. Hope everyone's doing good here. Alrighty, we got enough. We can start here. Let's start off with some AMC. Let's go. So AMC announced today their total revenue domestically on pre-Thanksgiving weekend is the highest in AMC's 104-year history. We had 4.6 million people go to an AMC or an Odin. Let's go. This is the type of stuff we need to see. Now, one of the things Adam Aarons, bigger global movies, that's when AMC does better. So here we go with Gladiator, Wicked, both killing it. Now, Moana 2 comes out next weekend. It's supposed to be the biggest weekend in box office history. They're projecting over 300 million plus. It's going to be fun from here on out. You'll start seeing 200 million easily plus for the... I mean, man, it's going to be insane going forward. You still got Sonic. You still got Lion King. They're now projecting Lion King to be $1 billion movie. Now, what this talks about, and this is what everybody said that AMC needed to start doing again, was getting into that merchandise and getting... as much merchandise as they can. They sold out right away halfway through the weekend. That's something that I feel like we need to start preparing better for. I feel like we run out of merchandise way too fast every time. Now, I mean, maybe there's something that AMC can only get a certain amount, but I feel like AMC, if they're able to increase that amount of merchandise, they definitely need to start doing that because they've sold out. I don't know. I can't remember the last merchandise type thing they've put out there, and it just doesn't sell out. They always do. So to me, it makes no sense that we're not adding more towards merchandise. But like I said, maybe they can only get their hands on so much. But like I said, we had 4.6 million moviegoers Thursday through Sunday. Let's go. Next weekend is going to be insane. Moana 2, Gladiator 2, and Wicked are expected to make the biggest Thanksgiving weekend in box office history. Let's go. They're expecting, like I said, around 300 million plus. Let's go. That's going to be nice. I'll put us up to about, right now we're at, I don't know if this, let's check it out. I didn't check if this updated yet, so give me 1 second. Let me pull this up. No, it did. It did. So we're at 950 million after the weekend. Again, you're going to have, with these bigger, during the week, you're still going to have probably 75, 80 million. So before that weekend, you should be, or after that weekend, next weekend, we should be easily over 1.3. Easily over 1.3 billion. I still project us to hit about 2.5 to 2.6 to maybe around 2.7 if we keep having massive numbers. But again, this should be a very good quarter for AMC. A lot of Lion King is going to spill into Q1 of next year, so that will help that up immensely. On top of that, you're going to have Sonic 3. Sonic 3's numbers are actually looking way better. It's only, a couple hours after pre-sales, but it's looking like, again, this is going to be a couple $100 million box office domestically. Let's go. Another thing I want to show you guys, so Inside Out 2, in 2025, this Elio, it's supposed to be the next giant movie from Pixar and Disney, and it looks actually pretty good. It's about this little kid. He pretends to get captured by UFOs, and then eventually he does, and he goes off into space, meets all these aliens, and this is the type of movie that they're going to go nuts over. So again, 2025 is looking insanely good as well. So again, nothing but box office great numbers. You got the Lilo and Stitch remake that comes out May 2023. This actually, I didn't think Stitch would look good or anything. It's always hard to make a live action, but look at him, man. He looks pretty good. Let's watch a little clip. I mean, I think that movie is going to kill it. There's a lot of good movies next year. So, again, I think nothing but great things going forward at the box office. So, our play's looking good. And one of the things that I wanted to leave off with this. For AMC, all these people that are still in doubt, all these people that are worrying about, maybe this will never happen. One thing I do want people to, or maybe we were wrong on everything. One of the things I do want people to look at all the banks' financial reports, look at all the market makers, Citadel, Virtue. They're way over 600 billion shares sold, not yet purchased. Way over it. And that's what they reported. There could easily be $1 trillion worth of shares not sold, not yet purchased, that they aren't even, adding it up with what they have reported with what they haven't. It could easily be over 1 trillion shares, easily. The fact that they have over 600, it was like 680 billion worth, is ridiculous. I mean, that is insane. So one of the things we're going to talk about next is going to be Ken Griffin. And he talks about, I mean, this guy is something else, dude. This dude is something fucking else, dude. This guy is destroying the United States, the fiscal house, destroying the health of the United States, the economy, the country, destroying it. That is what his company does, because it steals from and siphons. It's Madoff's Ponzi scheme to steal from the middle class, steal from the lower class, bring it to this rich piece of shit that does not put anything back into the country. Like I said, these people that are super, super rich, it's like, yeah, great, good for you. But eventually it's like, okay, there's only so much to go around. Did you deserve all that? Are you putting it back into the economy? Well, if the answer is no, that's hurting the economy quite a bit when one person's holding it all or buying up all the assets and not helping with anything. So these billionaires are fucking, like I said, they're just pieces of shit. But there's signs right now that Citadel and Ken Griffin are in a lot of trouble. Because if you look at over the last couple years, something that Ken Griffin over the last 2 years, like he's never done in the history of his company, is he sold off stakes. He sold off more and more of his company. And now he's coming out again. This is a couple of days ago. And once again, he's talking about selling off a minority stake in Citadel. Okay? So this is 3 years in a row now that he's had to go out and get loans. Well, the problem with this is he's also talking about how, he would prefer to go private again, but there's not as much interest as it was there before. And one of the things I was showing you guys from the first time Citadel got that loan, it was like $600 million. The credit rating wasn't that good. And I was like, well, that's kind of surprising. Why isn't the credit rating so good if they're sitting there we're the best fucking ever. We're making profits up the ass. Blah, blah. Well, why does your credit rating suck so much? Why are you paying such high interest on this $600 million? And then they end up selling, like, it was like, what, $1.5 billion worth or whatever. And then that rating on those loans I showed you went way down. Like, their credit rating was shit. The interest on the loan, it went way up. So at that point, you got to sit there and go, okay, are you unable to get that financing that you need? Now, one of the things that it was interesting when I was reading this article and reading about, what Ken was talking about is this is when you know you're in trouble, guys. If you listen to this, because this is insanely important, if you are ever, as a company, financially sound, you don't need to go public. There's no reason to. There's too much risk for your company. You don't have to have a board. You don't have, so the CEO, there's no risk. You're not going to go, for him to have a takeover of his company, not be able to do things that he wants to do. He doesn't have to, ask for certain things. He doesn't need shareholders' approval for shit. There's so many reasons why a company, if they're financially sound, doesn't need to go public. Yeah, they might want to do it if they say, all right, we can make a ton of money. Sure. They'll go off right away, but a lot of the times, is it worth losing your entire seat at the table, potentially? Losing a massive amount of that seat at the table? Well, one of the things that Ken Griffin talked about is how he talked about how he I'm sorry, it wasn't 1.5 billion. It was 1.15 billion. I apologize. So he talked about how he used to get loans from people and how he sold off other stakes into his company and how he wants to how he wants to go out and get a private loan if he can. But if he has a problem getting a private loan, listen to this. Griffin mentioned he would take no longer remain private. Citadel Securities received a $5 billion investment offer from a private equity firm. He's talking about how he would take it public as well, potentially. There's a whole bunch of stuff that Ken Griffin's talking about. He wants to go around and do all these offers first, but like I said, you can sit here and read. He's continuously having problems getting this. You can see a lot. He's going to be worried about when Trump gets into office. Now, one of the things a lot of people are like, well, he went and donated to all the Republicans. Yeah, but he didn't donate to Trump. That's the one he didn't donate to. Now, one of the things people talk about is there was this article that said that Ken Griffin met with Trump and Elon, but then literally in the middle of the article, it said nobody gave a donation, nothing was reached, and he left. Just because they met with the guy they didn't take his money. So he didn't technically donate anything to Trump himself. So one of the things that I also thought was interesting is, the typical piece of shit here. This is why I hate this guy. This is why he's a real piece of shit, dude. So they have an interview with him a couple days ago, 4 days ago, okay? So they have an interview with him. They're talking about Donald Trump. They're talking about the economy, all these plans that he has in place, the tariff plans, things of that nature. Cutting the income tax for middle class, lower class, all that. Cutting out income tax for everybody. So what he says is pretty much in this. And I don't want to play it because nobody wants to listen to this piece of shit talk. But pretty much what he talks about is the U.S. does. We don't have the fiscal ability. Okay, we don't have the fiscal ability to cut taxes and. We need to get our house in order. We need to fix the fiscal house of the United States. Well, isn't that funny coming from the guy who's literally destroying the fiscal house of the United States? He's literally paid $65 billion in securities sold, not yet purchased. Does that not hurt the economy? On top of that, again, you're stealing from the middle class. Everything you do is to take a little from the top, front run, how many crimes they do in a day. Like I said, the amount of corruption that this guy does, what he does to the middle class. And then to come out and say, well, we need to fix the fiscal state of the United States. And we can't cut taxes. We got to stop trying to give help out to these little people. We got to stop giving breaks to the little people. We don't have the room to do stuff like that. The tariff he doesn't believe is going to work in place. Like I said, this dude's just a complete piece of shit. Well, here's what's funny about the fiscal health of the United States. You have 36 trillion in debt. We just passed it today. It was like, hold on, I posted it up here. We're at 36 trillion, 47 billion. So we're just flying up. So since we broke it, we added another 47 billion already. And we broke it, 2 days ago? Which that means that we're adding like 100 billion a week. Like I said, the fiscal health of the United States is fixed very easily. You stop spending like fucking crazy. You stop destroying and running up your debt. Now, here's one of the things that's pretty funny. To prove that point, hold on. I'm going to jump around here for a second. Where the fuck is it? Here it is. So it shows you how much total revenue, how much we came in and, how much the United States spent. And as you can see, the deficit here, you're at about 1.7 here. Well, what's very funny is if you look at how much we pay in interest on that debt, we pay at the end of the year, we'll be paying about $1.2 trillion. So if you take that debt away and take away that $1.2 trillion worth of interest you're paying, guess what would happen? you could start fixing that. You can go ahead and start to afford these other things. Now, on top of that, where is it? Elon and the Doge here. The Doge posts this the other day, so I want to go ahead and make sure everybody sees this because this is unbelievable. This is such a waste of money. It's unreal. So if you guys look at this, U.S. Congress provided $516 billion to programs who expired under federal law. Nearly $320 billion of that expired 12 years ago. So they want to talk about how, first of all, where the hell is this money going? Where the hell is this money going? So it's being paid. You end up looking at all these things that are expired. These are expired authorizations of committee from the Senate committee. They're paying these people money. So $516 billion, $516 billion worth went to expired programs. So where the fuck the money go? It's laundering, theft, corruption. That's where it went. So take that away. All these expenditures, just close all those programs down. Guess what? You're closing that gap quite a bit now, aren't we? What the hell is that? Little gap chart. Here you go. So now you close it down another $516 billion. So if you took care of the debt, if you took care of this unnecessary spending, you found $516 billion in programs that are expired. What are we doing? Guess what? You just solved the debt crisis right there. The deficit, it's gone. The deficit is caused by a reckless spending with your government, and it's not going anywhere anytime. It's not slowing down anytime. And this is what they're trying to do for Trump. They're pretty much handing him a fucking grenade, and they're going to go, make sure we're going to pull it in there. I don't even know if that would stop it if you repinned it. I don't know if can you fucking repin a grenade? Let me check. Let me see if I'm not. I mean, you're not trying to, but it looks like you can, but they don't recommend it. But but you get my point. They're pretty much handing them a grenade. And they're like, all right, we're gonna pull the pin, ignite it. We're going to hit that switch, and then you go ahead and you repin that thing. So they're basically handing, like I said, a weapon here. It's not looking good, and it's going to get worse and worse because one of the things that's happening, this is why at this point, one of the things I agree with Trump on is, and the Federal Reserve, it's a piece of shit. It is the most corrupt thing in the fucking world. There is no reason for it. It is the stupidest thing we've ever done. It ended up being no privatized entity. No privatized entity should be in charge of the United States dollar supply. It should never, ever, ever, ever happen. They basically can go ahead and put in their order. Treasury prints it, creates the coins, the hard money, whatever they need to do. Like I said, they should not be in charge. There should never be a private entity. On top of that, that private entity has shareholders. Well, that should never fucking happen. Well, guess who the shareholders are? It's the banks. So you have a corrupt system that's able to control money supply and literally create programs to bail out the banks, which are their fucking shareholders. Conflict of interest. It's literally the definition of it. The Federal Reserve is a corruption. Look at the value of the dollar. Look at the spending value of the dollar since the Federal Reserve came into play. Because all they do is print. Look what they did with COVID. They printed $6 trillion, created inflation, and they basically killed the economy. Look at the economy today. They did it too. And then on top of that, all these programs that were supposed to help the economy, help the housing market, help the middle class stay alive, like I showed you with the mortgage, the mortgage money that they gave them to put in vaults, so the risk would go away for people, so they could still give out loans, so the housing market wouldn't happen and become what it is now, completely fucking stagnant. It's completely screwed right now, and it's just going to keep getting worse because the debt is going to keep getting riskier and riskier Well, on top of that, you're having other countries now, again, keep selling all of their treasury bonds at massive, massive, massive rates. Japan and China are dumping U.S. treasuries. In Q3 2024, Japan sold a net $61.9 billion of treasuries, the most on record. This was the second consecutive quarter of selling after $40.5 billion. So they've already sold over $100.4 billion worth of treasury bonds. China has now sold treasuries in 6 of its last 7 quarters, and its total holdings now fell below $800 billion for the first time in 16 years. So basically, I asked this before, what's going to happen when all of these other countries don't want to buy your debt? Now, to make the matter worse, I've been showing you guys this for a while. You have $7.6 trillion worth of debt that is due to renew this year. Well, if they don't renew that debt, you need to issue more debt, which means, guess what? You're going to have to make it more attractive, which means you're going to have to raise rates again, which means your 10-year treasury note is going to explode again, and your mortgages and your auto loans and everything and your credit cards are going to keep on jumping. So right now, the United States is basically running in a death spiral. And they're pretty much handing it over to Trump. And this is one of the reasons why I agree with him. Get rid of the fucking Federal Reserve. Now look at what the Federal Reserve is doing. The Federal Reserve has always put money into... There's been like a couple of times in history, but it was like $2 billion. It was never a big deal because the next year they would always more than make up for it into the Treasury, and it would be no big deal. If you guys look at this chart. So from 2009, like I said, it'd be like negative, like $600 million. It'd be no big deal, but negative, maybe go negative $600 million. That was it. Like small blimps, and then the next year you'd be putting in billions and billions, hundreds of billions. It didn't matter. I'm sorry, not hundreds of billions, but 1.4 billion over the 400 million loss the year before, it wouldn't matter. But now what they're doing, if you look at the last 2.5 years, we've just gone straight negative. And not only just straight negative, the Federal Reserve owes the Treasury right now negative $210 billion. Now, on top of that, I showed you the Federal Reserve is operating at a loss currently. So it's currently operating at a loss. And on top of that, this is going down by $10 billion a week. A week. So that means we're going to be at about negative 260 by the end of the year. They're going to be at negative $260 billion that they're going to owe the Treasury. Now they could sell off tons of assets to repay that. That's what they're going to have to do, but they're continuously letting this run up. This just shows you, like I said, at this point, this is the Federal Reserve going against and destroying the United States. It is operating at a loss. The people who control money are losing money. I mean, think of how insane that is. The people in charge of money are losing money. Not only are they losing money, they're operating at a negative $210 billion loss. This is insanity. If there is ever a reason to fight it, like get rid of the Federal Reserve, it's right here. This is your proof right here. It no longer works. The debt's too high. Everything is too fucked. They have gotten too much corruption. And this was the thing I told you guys. Eventually, it would be too much dust under the fucking rug. It's to that point. It can just keep getting worse and worse and fucking worse. And this is one of the reasons why people are like, well, why are you talking about crypto now lately? Which I'm going to give another play today because I do feel good about a play today. But people, why are you talking about crypto? And it's like, well, at this point, you're going to have to accept that that's where everything's heading. The United States, here's the thing. I think Bitcoin's going to have to drop. I think the price is going to have to drop. Now, I'm not saying people, oh my God, because the United States, when Trump gets in, they're going to want to build a reserve. But I've already told you, they're not going to try and buy at the top. They're not going to buy at 100 fucking thousand. They're not going to buy at 99,000, 98,000. They're going to need it to drop. The United States will buy, they'll get it to drop on some, they'll get it to drop. They always get whatever they need. But it's going to have to drop before they build a reserve. Now, here's one of the things, too, that if Trump's talking about the crypto reserve, getting into these... Well, I'll get in all that actually in the end here. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but as you guys can see, the debt, the dollar, the value will continuously go down. It's just going to keep going down. That's why I told you to get into gold, with cryptos, whatever crypto you want. I've chosen a couple cryptos. I know what they are. I understand. We'll get into those in a minute here with the banking system, but here's the thing. Well, like I said, we'll get into that in a minute here. But the problem is like I said, until they start to fix this, all these rich pieces of shit, rich pieces of shit will continuously say, we can't fix this. This is unsustainable. We can't keep doing these things. We need to keep this in place, keep printing or doing this, because all they ever want to do is make the lower class fucked. Them always gaining more. Like I said, it's just pathetic. Like, at what fucking point do these douchebags have enough stuff? How many fucking houses can you have? But one of the things I wanted to show you guys, because this is what I've been saying for fucking ever. Before, you guys gotta be very fucking careful on what's going on right now. So, before I get into, I'll just put this in the back. Before I even get into JPMorgan, I've been telling people since I have ever been on streaming, get out of fucking any FDIC is the bank. Get out of them. Get the fuck out of them. Get out of them. They're so trash. They're so fucked. They're so broke, you guys. The FDIC will not pay you your money back. They won't. You're not going to get any, you're going to get barely any of that money. Now, I want you guys to listen to this, because this just came out. This just happened the other day. It happened to all these people. Everyone lost their life savings. So many people lost their life savings, and they were all told that they were backed by the FDIC. There was nothing to worry about, and the FDIC basically is like, we don't have it. We're going to give you 1/100th of what you had. So this came in the other day. Talks about thousands of Americans see their savings vanish. This is in that fintech crisis. Now, one of the things that I want to show you guys here. So all these people thought that this was backed by the FDIC. They basically got robbed by a bank. Now, when this happened, all of these people lost everything. And then they're like, well, basically, we're still backed by the FDIC. We'll get our checks. It'll be no big deal. When these people who had $280,000 in there, we were informed last Monday that Evolve was only going to pay us $500 out of $280,000. So, when you come down and read this, in the immediate aftermath of this bankruptcy, which happened after the exodus of the fintech's client, a court-appointed trustee found that $96 million of customer funds was missing. $96 million of people's money vanished, and they're not getting it back. The FDIC is not cutting them any fucking checks. When like I said, this is what I'm telling you guys. I've been saying forever. When the FDIC, when you have a whole bunch of banks go down, 4, 5, 6, 7 banks go down, they're not going to be able to do anything. They're not going to be able to do anything. People are going to get checks like this, and then sorries. Now, the mystery of where those funds are hasn't been solved. Despite 6 months of court efforts between 4 banks. So listen to this. So these 4 banks, the courts have been trying to get into their records. Where'd all this money go? Where'd the $96 million go? Where the fuck did it go? Because technically we should have to pay it back. Well, they can't find it. They don't have enough money. So the bank that went bankrupt, this is their excuse, okay? We don't know where, we can't find it because the bank that went bankrupt doesn't have enough money to hire an outside firm to perform a full reconciliation of its ledgers. So the problem is the bankrupt bank can't afford to go out and hire a firm to actually figure out who to pay and where'd all the money went and really look into it. So we're just, fuck them. They're all screwed because we can't find it. And the FDIC has no money to put in. This is what they had. Now, if you read about this, hold on, pop this down here. 13,000 so listen to this. 13,725 customers say they are being offered a combined 11.8 million, despite putting 65 million in deposits. That's what I'm saying. It's all a fucking scam. Traditional banking, the banking system is all fraud. It's all scam. It's all fake fucking numbers. It's all bullshit. It's all audit firms. One audit firm will say no, but their competitor will say yes because they need the revenue, the outlook. Ernst & Young just got in trouble again. Like I said, it is constant fraud in everywhere in the United States. It's basically in the United States now. If you're not committing accounting fraud, paying an auditor, and then going out and getting giant loans you can't technically afford, you're doing it wrong in the United States. That's pretty much what's happening. It is unbelievable. So, hold on. Let me read this down here, though. I wanted to show you guys. Hold on. Where was it? Oh, here you go. Here you go. Cracks in the system. Unlike meme stocks or crypto bets, of course, they talk their bullshit, which is in which the users naturally assume there's some risk attached. Most customers view funds held in federally insured court-backed accounts as the safest place to keep their money. Most customers view the FDIC-backed places they're safe. There's no way nothing can go wrong. Well, turns out that they were wrong. The FDIC is a piece of shit. The FDIC is fucking broke. Even though they insure you up to $250,000. Even though the FDIC says nobody's ever lost a fund. No one's ever not got their money back. Guess what? None of these guys are getting their money back. Because they're sitting there arguing in court. Well, until you can find where the funds are, blah, blah, blah. Abandoned by U.S. regulators. No way. Guys, can you imagine that? So the people that got fucked over aren't being helped by regulators who have so far declined to act. They are left with few options to recoup their money. Just in June, the FDIC made it clear that the insurance fund doesn't cover the failure of non-banks like Synapse. And then the event of such a firm's failure, recovering funds through the court wasn't guaranteed. So that's their loophole. So basically, these banks can tell you that they're FDIC backed and they can go ahead and get out of it. Right now, the Federal Reserve said that it's monitoring it, and the Federal Reserve is trying to we'll see what they're going to do. Will they help bail it out? Will they help make these people whole? Who knows? We'll see what happens. But again, as of now, these people are all missing hundreds of thousands of dollars in some case. Could you imagine if suddenly your life savings is gone and they're like, we'll get back to you when we can? They've been tied up in court for 6 months. Could you imagine if you had your entire life savings, every penny, everything gone for 6 months, and they're like, that would be insane. Could you pay your bills? Could you catch back up? Are you screwed? What would happen to you? This next piece talks about the same thing. Talks about business owners, talks about the FDIC, people that think, they're backed by the full faith of the credit of the U.S. government, all these people. Where was this one? So this one talks about, a whole bunch of people that, other than, hold on, where was it? I want to show you guys. I really wanted to show you guys something on this one. 11 million, we already went over that. Oh, here. No, where was it? Oh, I'm sorry. This was the same. Oh man, this was the same fucking article. There's another. I don't remember why I brought that up. I was missing something else in this. I wanted to show you. What was it? But like I said, guys, these FDICs, they'll tell you it's backed. The banking system, it's all a fucking complete sham. It's a fucking gong show. The second that these things go down, the FDIC had to ask for billions. You got to remember, they asked for all the mega banks for billions last year just to try to catch up for some of these other failed banks. So they're already behind. The FDIC is insanely behind. That's why I always say go to credit unions. It's a completely different insurance. And if that goes down, these credit unions aren't out there fucking with trillions in derivatives. These credit unions, none of them even have hundreds of billions in derivatives. Not even close. None of them probably even have maybe one or two has like a billion out there. You know, a couple billion. Like these guys aren't out there fucking. Maybe you have like a teacher federal one out there. Like a teacher or federal one out there might have about 100 billion. Type of thing like that, but I doubt it. I don't think there's enough for teachers making well, you know. But you get the point. Like they're not out there doing these risks that they're gonna go fucking under. They're gonna give you better rates. Like I said, the FDIC will not insure your money. So if something happens, if Trump can't find a way out of this shit, the Federal Reserve already told you there's gonna be bank failures next year. They told you to expect them by the end of this year, and they're already somehow delayed. So again, get your money out of these pieces of shit before it's too late. Now, I got to show you this because this is unreal. JPMorgan Chase finally broke $40 billion in fines. Now that's not what I'm here to show you. I've already showed you they were like just on the verge of breaking 40 billion. So basically, it's like, well, they added like 3 extra billion to break 40. That alone needs to. They've paid 40 billion in fines, you guys. How much have they stolen? See, this is my point with Ken Griffin. We got to fix the fiscal house. Okay, well, it starts with destroying the banking system. It starts with ending the Federal Reserve. It starts with getting rid of payment for order flow. It starts with disbanding Ken Griffin's Citadel and Virtue, just market making. All that bullshit, all of that is how you fix the fiscal system. You don't whine about income tax. Oh, well, fucking income tax. No, we can't get rid of it. Can't afford it. Well, we can, like I said, with the tariffs, there's other ways to make it up. Fuck corporations. I don't give a shit if corporations have to pay more. Good. Fuck them. Oh, God, the rich people might have to do something. Well, this is what I wanted to show you, though. This is unbelievable. What the fuck is it? Okay. JPMorgan Chase, in one of their recent filings, stated, read this, after flurries of settlements, now this came after they just wrapped up 5 more settlements the other month that I just showed you. A new regulatory filing now shows that they are facing several hundred open legal cases. There is over 700 legal cases against JP Morgan. How are they not the biggest criminal terrorist organization in the United States? 700 cases? How the fuck are they not closed down? How are they not closed down? If that doesn't show you that crime runs the world in the United States, I don't know. Well, could you imagine if you had 700 criminal cases open up against you? Where would you be right now? Prison, never ever able to see the sunlight, in solitary confinement until you kill yourself type thing. They have 700 open cases and it's good to go. Fucking insane. Like I said, this is unbelievable. Several hundred. The banking system is what is wrong in the United States. Now, this is my play I'm going to tell people. I think this is a great play. I've been talking to everybody. Here's what's going to happen. This is what happens when you kill the middle class. Guess what? They stop shopping. It's It's 101. They stop shopping. Guess where they stop shopping at? High-end stores. Because we can't fucking afford it. And guess what? Rich people don't shop at those high-end stores because they don't give a fuck and they don't spend their money. So, nobody's spending at those high-end stores. And one of the things I said is they're creating such a wealth gap, it will fuck up the economy. The rich can only buy so many possessions, and we can't afford them anymore. So what's going to happen? Retail stores will start to collapse. Okay? Well, guess what happened? I like to trade on events. So this is my event trade. I'm getting puts on Macy's. I believe retail stores are going to keep having lower numbers. They're going to keep going down and down and down and down in revenue. They're going to keep missing. They're going to keep missing, and they're going to keep missing. Now, one of the things that Macy came out with is Macy was supposed to give out their earnings. And then fraud happened. Of course. Macy delays results after finding... Now listen to this fucking excuse. This is hilarious. This is fucking hilarious. Yellen is bailing. I don't think Yellen's bailing. You guys, I have not found a single thing saying Yellen is retiring. Not a single thing. And if you Google it, the only fucking thing you see is Charles Gasparino said it. Nobody Google it right now that Yellen's leaving. I haven't seen a source that Yellen's leaving. If Yellen was leaving, you'd see fucking 800 sources. The only one that you see is from Charles Gasbag. This guy's not even 5'2". He can't even go on roller coasters yet without an adult with him, dude. Yellen is not walking away right now. But either way, Macy's. Now back to this Macy's play. Macy's delays results after finding an employee hid millions in delivery expenses. Now ask yourself this question. Why would an employee act on their own and say, you know what I'm going to do? For the good of no one. Because it doesn't affect fucking me at all. I'm going to hide $154 million in expenses. I'm going to hide it. Macy's on Monday delayed its third quarter results after finding that one employee hid as much as $154 million in expenses over the years, instead of issuing preliminary sales figures that fell short of Wall Street's expectations. The surprise, now listen to this. Listen to this because this is key. So here's an excuse. The single fucking employee acted on her own. She's a rogue employee. She's fucking rogue. We don't know why she would do that. Makes no sense to us. Yeah, okay, you fucking clowns. So, the surprise announcement deprives the market of key department stores' outlook of ahead on potential uncertain holiday seasons. So, because holiday seasons, they think are going to be way lower because nobody can afford a fucking thing. And instead of people getting 3 presents this year, everybody's getting 1. Well, the 1 present they're getting isn't going to be from fucking Macy's, I can tell you that much. Nobody's going, I got to go up into Macy's and buy this $55 fucking 3 cents worth of fabric fucking t-shirt piece of trash. No one. So, they're saying places like Walmart and Amazon, guess what? They're going to blow up because they're fucking cheap as shit and they can get it delivered to you. No one's going to Macy's. So suddenly Macy's is $154 million below what they were going to fucking do and be like, oh, these expenses came out of nowhere. And we had to fire this employee because she was the reason. No, she wasn't. You told that girl, you're going to have to cook the books because everyone's fucking doing it. And then you guys got caught. You got caught cooking the books. And then you blame her as a rogue employee. Well, we had no fucking clue. Here's a life lesson. If a company ever tells you to cook the books, Tell them to stick it up their ass, because you will be in prison. Not them. So, they're making up an excuse why the revenue's already shit. And then they're telling you, well, we're actually going to have a shitty holiday too. I know you are. So I'm going to fucking get puts on you, and I think you're going to go down. So I'm going to get into puts. I'm going to get them into January, like the second week of January. I'm not going to tell you my strike price, but here we go. That's what I'm doing. This is my play that I'm going to give everybody. I'm going to go ahead and fuck Macy's with a little put action, because fuck them. I don't believe at all in their earnings. I don't believe at all in their bullshit that some rogue fucking employee was just like, God, I got to hide $154 million. I'm going to lose my job. That is the worst excuse I've ever heard. This rogue fucking employee. And if you Google this right now, they literally, there's multiple sources that go, this rogue employee acted on their own. Okay, I'm sure she did. Now, on top of that, to prove my point as well, with this tweet, retail stores are going to start to get fucked. Now is a good time to start to maybe look at some puts on some of these stores. Now, one of the stores I talked about getting puts on is Best Buy. Why? Because Best Buy, who the fuck, at this point, they're a luxury. They're like a fucking luxury. Electronics are a luxury. And on top of that, I think they're going to have a miss on earnings. But Macy's is my one that I'm going for out of the retail stores. But again, Target, to prove it again. Target shares plunged 21% after they discussed cuts in forecasts. Biggest earnings miss in 2 years. Target's had their biggest earnings miss in 2 years. Now ask yourself, what is like the number one retail fucking store other than Walmart? Target. If it's not number 2 or 3, it's real fucking high up there. And they're having problems. Retail stores are not going to be able to keep up with what their forecasts. They're all going to miss earnings. And their holiday season. Ask yourself this. Just ask yourself this question. My Target is right next to my Best Buy. No, I know mine is too. In Apple Valley, they're in the biggest fucking building I've ever seen. And then it's a Target connected to a Best Buy, connected to a Party City, connected to a fucking Office Max. It is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. This thing is huge. But I feel like a lot of Best Buys they're attached to that Target. But I hate Target. I'm not a big fan either, but like, you know, if you're dating, if you have a wife, if you have a girlfriend, every girl you ever meet says, I love Target. They all love Target. They all fucking have this love for Target, and I don't know what it is. But when Target's struggling, when Target's like, we had our biggest miss in 2 years, there's your sign the economy's broke. And again, no one's coming up to fucking Macy's. No one's going to the Mall of America and going up to Macy's near me. They're cooking books. It's time for Macy's to get a little downgrade in my eyes. But that's going to be my play. Again, I feel retail's going to take a hit. Now, some more good stuff. So again, Griffin's talking about selling stake in Citadel, talking about the possibility, of going public, which shows you Citadel is hurting for money. And on top of that, shows you that, again, they're not able to go out and find those private deals that they got before. They're not able to go out and find these, where is it? Sequoia. They're not out there finding all these Sequoias that are out there like, hey, we'll give you $1.5 billion. So they're having more problems finding bidders. Again, I told you, like I said before, those rates are going up and up and up every time he went out. So we'll see what ends up happening here with Citadel. I just fucking hate this guy. He's such a piece of shit. But again, great news. More shitty SEC members leaving. Gary Gensler, gone. Gensler is one of the people holding up Ripple. Some of these SEC people that are holding up Ripple, holding up these lawsuits in this case. They're getting the fuck out of there. This is one of the reasons why Ripple jumped. When we first started talking about it, we got in, I'm at, what, 79 cents. So we've over 50%ed. We're feeling good. We're feeling good on Ripple right now. I also jumped in XML, which I'll show you guys why. Now, there's a lot of people upset with me for pushing Ripple. I'm not pushing Ripple, but for talking about Ripple, for XML, I'll show you why right after this. But Trump's coming in. He's getting rid of some of the trash. Now, the Doge is coming in. This alone, I'm telling you right now, if the Doge comes in and they can fix this right away, this is one of the biggest things any government thing's done for the country in years. If the Doge comes in and eliminates all $516 billion of this wasted money that's going to expired fucking programs, which means this is $515 billion of money laundering for corruption. If they just cancel this out, that's $515 billion that we're saving in expenditures. That alone is going to be the biggest thing that anyone's done for us in fucking ever. So again, I'm already excited for a lot of the stuff I'm seeing. But one of the things he's doing, getting rid of the trash. Now this guy, I've shown you he's against a lot of these things too. I hate this guy. He's trash. Get him the fuck out of here. He's leaving too. Lazarga is gone. He's going to leave January 17th, right as Trump is coming in. Basically, we're cleaning out some of the garbage here. Now, he says it's because his wife has been sick, and she's been fighting it forever. And if she is sick, I apologize, but we all know the real reasons. They're not going to come out and be like, well, you know, I'm stepping down because I've been a corrupt pile of shit, and I was against. He's going to get replaced. Start draining it. They're already running right now. Let's go. So again, we're getting rid of some of the SEC. Now, I really fucking hope there's going to be 2 seats open now. Eventually, at some point, they need to put a retail person on the SEC to ever fix the corruption. It's not going to fucking happen, but it needs to happen. That is how you fix this. We need to stop putting fucking ex-bankers, ex-Wall Street fucking lawyers on the SEC. Why the hell would they ever help us? They're not gonna. They know all the laws. They know all the fucking rules. It's the same thing. Our SEC is nothing but conflict of interest. See Hester Pierce. Every single chair on there is conflict of interest. And they've all worked at a bank, or guess what? They're going to go work at a bank after. What do you think's going to happen with Gary? Gary's going to go sign on with some bank as some fucking consultant type bullshit, and he'll teach him how to get around even more rules. That's what's going to happen with little Gary Bear. That's what happens with them all. They just go right back into the corruption, right back into the system. It's a fucking joke. So, this is what I need to talk about. I know a lot of people is how upset right now because I'm talking about Ripple, and Ripple is basically going to be like a CBDC type thing, and it's like, you know what? Here's where I'm coming at with this. Ripple is already accepted as basically going to be a massive form of digital payment. It could be something honest to God that could replace SWIFT. It really could. The amount of governments that are adapting this. Now, here's something why I believe in Ripple. I know what it is, but here's the thing. I think there's an insane amount of potential for Ripple to have a very big spike. There's tons of things that can happen that can make it have a very big jump. the thing with Ripple is it's becoming accepted by the feds. It's becoming accepted by governments. It's becoming accepted as an payment system. It's becoming accepted by the corrupt criminal banks like JPMorgan as a way of payments for houses, credit cards. You can make payments now on your house payments with Ripple. They're trying to make it into a digital type payment system, and it's going global like no tomorrow. Now, one of the things that the Federal Reserve announced, now this is why XML and Ripple jumped hard. I posted this right before we all jumped in. FedNow is partnering with, basically FedNow is going to use Ripple as part of their payment system. I showed you guys Ripple is now also being accepted for treasuries. Now what this means in tokenization, what this means is it's being adapted by our government. Now, one of the things that I've talked about with Trump comes out and he says he's getting pro-crypto on a lot of things. He's trying to make the United States crypto capital of the world type situation. Now, here's the way you do that. You can't do that with Bitcoin at this point. It's too fucking expensive. You're not going to spend... You can't become crypto capital of the world. Now, is he going to build a crypto reserve of Bitcoin? Yes. He said he's going to, and he's going to. It's going to be a strategic reserve of Bitcoin. Now, one of the things that I said with Bitcoin is it has to drop before they're going to buy. If the price is skyrocketed up to 100K, let's be honest, the government does not buy in at the top. These guys don't buy in at the top. They don't buy in when it's super expensive. They got to take away some of the risk factor. So what they're going to do is the price of Bitcoin eventually, when it gets more towards the United States buying, it's got to drop. Then they'll get in, it'll jump. And that's when you make your event play right there. But leading up to it, it's got to drop or they're not going to jump in. Now, here's one of the things. Bitcoin's already very expensive. The United States is going to build in the reserve, yes. But they also, you have to remember, built a reserve at some point for silver. It's a reserve until it's not. It's a commodity until it's not. That was my biggest risk with Bitcoin. In the end of the day, is it a commodity? Is it an asset that's worth that? I mean, we'll see. Is there a chance it could crash? There is a chance that it could crash. Now, one of the things the government, if we're going to become crypto capital of the world, what are you going to do? You're going to need to be in charge of the main player in the next main crypto-based type system. That is how you become the main player. Just like the dollar, you go out and you get the the dollar's global dominance. That is one of the things that we want. So what do you do as the United States? You're going to want to have global dominance of a crypto type backed asset. Right now, Bitcoin is too expensive to make you do that. So what are you going to do? You're going to look into the next type system, which it could be Ripple. As I showed you, we can get into a ton of stuff here in a second here. But Ripple's already basically becoming the next global type system. So I believe one thing that could happen is the United States government could have a giant reserve of Ripple and adapt it massively, become the leader in Ripple, and now suddenly it's accepted worldwide. One of the things that I want you to understand is the United States, we're not on SWIFT. We're one of the only nations that doesn't have SWIFT code, IDs, numbers. What we can do is now connect with all these other countries through Ripple and get on the same exact system type thing and be the leader in that system. So again, there's a giant potential for Ripple. They're already adapting it. The Federal Reserve is adapting it. The Treasury is adapting it. Now on top of that, Ripple's partnering to get money market funds, monetize tokenization of money market funds. Money market funds are now being adapted on it. Now, you're seeing ETFs. You just saw BlackRock ETF last week. You now have a $100 billion Wisdom Tree is now registering for another Ripple thing. So again, JPMorgan to accept Ripple for credit cards and mortgage payments. The first Britain launches its first crypto brokerage. It's going to be on Ripple. BlackRock and Ripple teaming up for an ETF. So again, there's tons and tons of things with Ripple. One of the things with Ripple, again, I don't have any affiliation. I just bought into it. I'm just learning about it now, more and more and more. But again, one of the things that they're able to do, again, that could skyrocket this thing, and it will happen when a government entity like the United States gets in and fully adapts it, because they will have the most say, and then on top of that, they'll get their way with the media. If 80% of people say that they want to start withholding the reserve wallet, that will cut the supply of Ripple by 57 billion. That means it will no longer go into circulation, and every single time that there's transactions on the Ripple wallet, it'll burn and burn and burn and go to that wallet that will be withheld. So the value, it would be just like burning without actually burning the coins, and that would skyrocket the value just as burning would. Now, this would be already all the coins that are already held back in the reserve wallet. This would not be coins out into the circulation or that could be currently mined. This would be the ones that are in the reserve wallet that are currently also being released every year. So again, there's tons and tons of advantages into this. And if the government does adapt a system type thing, and they do adapt Ripple, the price rocket could skyrocket. And that is why I know people look at it as a form of a CBDC, but it's in tokenization, but it's like that's just forms of things you can do on the network in the blockchain. So I would rather, if the government's going to adapt this as a form of payment, as a monetary type system, I would rather it be. On top of that, they're talking about Ripple maybe being adapted by some gold backing as well. So again, I'm not pushing Ripple, but I'm not trying to push Ripple. Do what you want. But there's tons of things, and this is why people are getting mad at me. Why am I pushing this? But this is why. If I see them adapting this, I see massive amount of money that could be made on this becoming the next type of digital system. Am I going to... Do I fucking hate the digital system? Do I hate the banking system? Yes. But am I going to leave a fuck ton of potential money on the table because I hate the system? No. I'd rather go ahead and profit off that system that's going to fuck me in the ass potentially down the road. At least I can profit off it before, get a little lubricant before, it goes ahead and shoves it in. Do I want CBDCs? No. Do I want a digital type payment? Let's be honest, that's where we're heading. We're heading towards a digital type payment system. Well, if it's not going to be CBDCs, let's all be fucking thank God it's not. It's going to be some type of blockchain type system. It doesn't make sense for the United States to create their own type system and start backing that. They're going to adapt an already system in place, and that is why I believe it could be Ripple with all these banks and just how much is happening with it worldwide. So that is why I'm doing it. But hey, everybody that's been in Ripple for a long time, congratulations, you guys. You're killing it. But this is where we're heading, whether we want to admit it or not. It's heading into this type of system. It's heading into a blockchain type atmosphere. Everyone is jumping into it government wise. The fact that it's now launching, like I said, treasuries is a big deal. People don't understand that. Them putting tokenizations of treasuries on this, it's massive. This is where the debt could start being settled. Could you imagine if the debt was starting to be settled through this blockchain? What the hell is it? I have too much shit on here I post in a freaking day. Now, Coinbase play, people that were listening to the Coinbase play, remember, when all these ETFs and all this stuff came out, like I said, it went down for a couple weeks. So don't go out and get your thing and get your options. But soon it could be a play to when and Coinbase has dropped. And this is exactly what happened last time with all the ETFs. Coinbase plummeted for like 2 weeks. We already went over this. Coinbase plummeted for like 2 weeks, and then it fucking blew up. And then it blew up because all of a sudden, holy shit, look at all this revenue that came in through the ETFs and through Bitcoin's price rising. Well, guess what? You have more ETFs coming, and Bitcoin's price, the price of Bitcoin has risen, which means more and more revenue is going to be coming in. All that news with Trump. So again, do I think Coinbase is going to be a play? Yes, I think it's going to be a play in about 2 to 3 weeks, and it's going to bust up again. It's going to drop, and then pop back up. So people that, when we're talking to be about the Coinbase, you didn't listen to the play. I said it's going to drop a couple weeks after the ETFs are announced, and that's exactly what it's doing. So if you played the downside on that news, great job, you're making money. Now, here's the thing with SCMI. I do want people to be aware of the risk. Here, do I think SCMI can run a little bit more? Yes, because here's the thing. Last time, this is big news because nothing's been approved on SCMI. Nothing's been approved. No plan has been approved. No auditors actually signed on. BDO hasn't even signed on with them yet. They haven't agreed shit. So last time this happened, they got delisted. The stock jumped, and then it fucking plummeted on the news because all those people need exit liquidity. So right now, they're going to let it jump up, see retail and all these people jump in, make some money, keep jumping in. People are going to go long, and then they got their exit liquidity. And all of a sudden, they're going to make the announcement. So be aware if you're going long. Yes, you could definitely make money right now on SCMI going long. But be aware that announcement that it could get rejected at any time could happen. So if you're going long, it's never a bad time to lock in profits and re-get into the play. That's all I'm saying. Make sure you lock in, and you can always re-enter. In case that one day you jump on in, and it's the moment that they do that announcement on the delisting. Or you could jump in. Like I said, you could definitely make money there because you could jump in and then they announce the plan's been approved. Guess what's going to happen to the stock? It's going to fly. So, but just be aware. It could still go either way on that. SCMI is still a very risky play. But again, you could definitely make money on the upside towards it. Did they get enough exit liquidity? AMC, XRP, XML are my plays. I mean, I got all those right now. Here's the thing. Spy calls are never bad, guys. Spy calls are never bad. In the money spy calls are never bad. Every week, we're thinking it's going to fucking explode, and SPY hits an all-time high. So, you always kind of want to keep SPY plays in your portfolio. When MOASS starts, do you think AMC could easily beat... I mean, here's the thing. When the GameStop report came out, AMC was a bigger risk than GameStop. How many of those shares sold not yet purchased? How many of them are AMC? It could be very easily billions and billions of shares of AMC sold not yet purchased. Easily. It's insanely hard to say. Do I think it could blow up over GameStop? I don't know. It's hard to say which one they would let explode to what. But I think, do I believe AMC is still going to explode when all this shit goes down? Yeah, I do. I believe there is so many fucking obligations in AMC. It's got to get paid off. Here's the thing with AMC. This is one reason why I do believe it could go higher than GameStop. If everything got settled, one of the things is the ape conversion went so fucked up. I saw over 50 million FTDs happen with ape. 50 million happened. And instead of those shares getting settled, they literally just basically told everyone overseas, number one, fuck off. Like, sorry, you're just fucked. They didn't settle them here in the United States. I saw a lot of people end up just getting cash, or they got some kind of refund stuff, or they didn't get the proper amount. And for weeks. And then you saw people, it was days and days that they didn't get their ape shares worth of conversions. There was people that for weeks didn't get it because they couldn't find the fucking shares to fill to actually give people this. Ape was one of the most mishandled things in the entire history of the stock market. And I believe there's a ton of unsettled things over an ape along with AMC. And if you combined all of the unsettledness between the two tickers, between the two, I don't want to say stocks, but the two tickers combined, I believe there's way more fuckery there. It's not even comparable than what's over there in GameStop. AMC right now, like I said, to me, this is what I would do if I was running it more, just for Adam Aaron, just to kind of be like, God, man, there's some things where you look at and you go, why aren't you guys just doing these simple things? Drop CapEx $25 million. Take that money and go spend it on merchandise. Get more merchandise. You sell out every fucking time. You sell it halfway through. And then every time at the quarter, you say how amazing merchandise sales were. But they could always be better. Stop spending money on improvements. Spend a little less on improvements. Spend a little more on merchandise. Because that money's coming in now. The improvements, they are going to take a while to start to see the effects. Unless, let's say you're doing chairs and you get them in right away. And everything's done. As long as if that theater's closed, that's money lost. Like I said, there's ways that I look at our finance and I just question some things. But AMC definitely could get back to positive. Like I said, every time they cut rates, they're probably gonna do another rate cut. Saves them money. AMC's gonna continuously pay down the balance sheet. I think this quarter is gonna be massive because one of the things that AMC did when we were profitable, like they said, you have to look at the locations of AMC, the rural areas, the high massive cities. If you're in the high massive cities, what you need are those giant box office movies to hit that massive city so everybody in that city goes and sees it. This quarter is full of big, massive movies. Like I said, Wicked, Gladiator, Moana 2, Sonic 3, Lion King. These are all the big name movies. All the locations where AMC, as you saw with their record last weekend, these are the movies to where AMC will get back to that giant percentage of the box office compared to what they were at that last quarter. When we all thought in Q3 we would kill it, but the problem now you're seeing it turn around. Once again, you have big name titles. And you have big results for AMC. So that is one of the things with us closing so many theaters, But that's not a bad thing as well. So again, when the box office starts to get back to big name cinema, which you're going to see in 2025, you're going to see in 2026 will be the biggest box office in United States history throughout the entire year. AMC will have its most profitable company history ever in 2026, and it's not even going to be close. AMC is going to be raking in money in 2026. It's going to be beyond stupid how much they're going to make. You're going to see a $13 billion box office. We haven't even broken 10 yet. You're going to see a $13 billion box office, and it's going to be insanity. It's going to be insanity. I cannot wait till 2026 for the box office. But like I said, the outlook for AMC, we're not going bankrupt anytime. The play is looking good. Fundamentally, we're improving. The box office is back. And in the end of the day, we're a movie theater company. Our fundamentals move on the box office. And like I said, 2025, they already projected to be profitable. If Lion King is as big as they say it's going to be, you got to remember, Lion King's at the very end of December. You're going to get 2 weeks of Lion King in this quarter. You're going to get about $200 million plus from Lion King at the end of this quarter to boost the shit out of the numbers. And then the rest of that's going to be in Q1. And they project that to be $1 billion plus movie. We'll see what happens there. But domestically, this Lion King movie is going to fucking kill it. It's going to destroy it. So, like I said, guys, nothing but great news here going forward. Bigum's glad you decided to look into RXP. Well, that's the thing, man. It's like I sat here forever thinking, here's the problem. Anybody that talks about any other play in the movement, you talk, oh my God. Last week we made 1,000%. Friday close on all of our plays on my SEMI put, my SMI call, my Ripple play, my SPY call, and then XML play. We were up 1,000% on the week. And all these people are like, you just trying to fucking milk the community and get all these other people. I'm like, no, for once I'm trying to help people. Make some plays, make money back. We can't just sit there and forever and do the same thing over and over and over, never change, and just expect regulator or anything to come in and help. If you start to learn the system, and here's the thing, I just never wanted to become one of those people that are like, guys, get into this, get into this, get into this, get into this, and all of a sudden I'm fucking Matt Kors. Like, I'm not here to tell you what stocks to play. I'm gonna, like I said, with this Macy play, I'm gonna maybe once a stream tell you one play I'm looking at. Big deal. I guess I'm gonna keep, if there's more news on Ripple XML, just expect me talking about it going forward. If that upsets you, sorry, there's an unfollow button. Like I said, I'm not here to talk plays. I'm more here to show you the corruption, the United States, Ken Griffin, all this play with AMC. Again, I still believe 1,000% in the MOASS, because you guys, you got to remember, let's say Trump comes in and sees, here's how you fix the economy. Here's how you fix everything. You let a MOASS happen. You have to think logically for 2 seconds. Think logically for 2 seconds. The United States can only have so much money at a time. There's been so much corruption, and so much of that money has been siphoned to the Cayman Islands. What the hell is going on? Oh, sorry. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to play that. So much money has been siphoned out of the country, and you're going to keep seeing this. Your middle class dying off, your middle class not being able to find things, too many people asking questions. People that thought that this didn't matter, look at your election. Red won everything because people are sick of and tired how it is. Now, this is something I need you to understand. If stuff doesn't get better under red, people are going to go fucking ballistic, and they know that. They're going to need to do something. They're going to need to help the middle class. They're going to need to help the lower class, even if it's just getting rid of the income tax like they're talking about doing. They're going to have to do something drastic, because this is all, the wealth gap in the United States is so unbelievable. And the only way to fix the economy is to take all of that siphoned money that came out of the country, and you have to bring it back in, because you can't print more. That's the thing. You're out of options. When you look over at it, you cannot print more money. That's going to cause more inflation. You already have killed your middle class. You can't cause inflation. Now, on top of that, every time you print, what happens? It makes your debt riskier. It makes your everything riskier. Now your 10-year goes up. Now you're, again, double-edge fucking your middle class through inflation and raising the rates on your treasury. And guess what happens? Rates go up for houses, cars, credit cards. Now you've destroyed your middle class. At some point, you need to realize, guys, we got to bring that money back. The only way to do that without getting in trouble and caught, because most of the entire economy is too stupid to figure out what's really going on still, is a type of squeeze, mass squeeze in certain stocks, meme stocks, situations where all these collateral cannot be collected. They're going to have to do it one day, way or another. They're going to have to bring that money back and say, no matter what, in the end of the day, it's going to come back to you, because we can't print. The only thing they could do at this point is to collect. There's nothing else you can do. You're in too much of a debt spiral. You're just fucked. Like I said, that's why you have the Doge coming out saying, hey, look at this, you guys. There's fucking $516 billion being wasted right here. We're going to tell the whole world there's $516 billion by your government being wasted. We could go ahead and fucking save next year. We need to start fixing this, because if we don't, blue didn't save you, and then red didn't save you. Now what? Now you're going to have fucking anarchy, because everybody's not. I went to the fucking store the other day. It blew my mind, dude. Eggs were $4.50, and milk was just as much. Like, what in the hell? It's ridiculous. Eventually, people are going to say, why am I working fucking 80 hours and I can't afford a bowl of cereal? I'm going to lose my house, and I'm living paycheck to paycheck, and me and my wife are working a combined 120 hours. And they're going to go nuts. And then they're going to see all these people that have fucking basically bought in everything, and there's 100 people in the United States that own everything. And eventually they're going to start saying, what the hell, how'd this happen? How do you join my Discord? I'll post it real quick. That's the thing, I'll post it if you're in here. I always post it in here. Like I said, guys, my Discord, I'm not just in there just giving plays. Here's what I want my Discord to be. I want my Discord to become a community place where all of you guys fucking learn together. All of you guys, beginners, immediate, middle, advanced, trained people, TA people, fucking, I don't care. Go in there and learn together. That's all I've ever been about since I've been in this movement. Since I first started on Reddit, all I've ever been was a person that gave you guys information. I just need you to learn. I'm only here to fucking have everybody learn. And through learning, we can go ahead and figure out together how to beat these guys and how to fix our economy and fix our country and fix our children's future. Because guess what? A lot of us have them. And if we don't do something, I can't imagine what my kid's going to grow up to fucking inherit. Can't even imagine. But I would love it if retail could come together, learn. Here's the thing. Firms do it all the fucking time. Firms come together and guess what? They dominate the market and they dominate everything. Retail could be the biggest firm in the world. But everyone fucking hates everyone. Everyone has to agree with every single thing you think or you hate them. Nobody can have a conversation. Nobody can have a disagreement anymore. No matter what I do, here's the thing. Everybody wants a giant account on Twitter. Oh, man, I want to be this giant account on Twitter. The amount of hours, I have 109,000 followers. I'm not saying I don't have a lot of followers, but it's taken me 4 years and how many hours a week of me posting information to get that. It's not easy. And then when you get to that, all it is everybody watching everything you say and do. And no matter what you do, you're called a shill one way or another. And eventually, you got to realize, all right, I just want us to fucking win. If you think by now, I don't want you to be educated or want you to win or want you to understand what's going on, or I'm not here in it for you guys, I don't know what to tell you. Who else has been teaching you guys shit for this long? Who else has been showing you guys this? My channel's basically a news outlet. That's what I am. That's why I'm Inspector Bigums on Twitter. I'm pretty much a news outlet showing you. I show you what the news doesn't want, what they should be showing you, but they don't. Quant, I would love that. I was just talking about, I'm actually developing a bot. If you want to help me with it, because I'm doing it in SQL. I only get a certain amount of time to code. So if you want to help me with that, dude, that would be awesome. Message me in Discord. If you get it set up, I want to make a bot that does events that I have about 6, 7, 8, 9 websites that I want that'll just trigger event stories, and then it'll be event trading room. I want to do a TA room. Like I said, I want everybody to come in there and learn. And if you know more than somebody else, sweet. Everybody just be open to learning. It's all, like I said, it's all it's about, man. Every one of us learning some plays and just growing. Like I said, I'm never gonna ever fucking charge in here. I'm never gonna say, oh my god, pay me $5 for fucking Discord, or the special channel. There's gaming in there. There's whatever you guys want to do. It's there for you guys. Here's the thing. Where else can you guys just come together and talk and just talk to other fucking retail? Find a group of, I wish there'd be 3,000, 4,000 people in there. I wouldn't care. Sweet. That would be so much knowledge going through in that channel and that Discord. Amazing. That is what I want. I want a retail ape community, learning together, growing together, and exposing all this shit. Because the day we stop exposing this shit, in the end of the day, that's when they win. Because if people stop looking, Why would they stop committing crimes? But every time we sit here and we expose things, we make it harder for them, and they need to come up with new bullshit, and we make it harder, and eventually, that foundation's gonna fucking crack. And when it does, we'll all be there together, fucking holding hands, and we can watch that shit burn. Just like the final scene in Fight Club. Just like that gif in Fight Club. You know exactly which one I'm talking about. This one. Everyone knows. We can watch the system fucking burn together. And when it does, like I said, guys, it'll all be worth it in the end of the day. If you MOASS, and here's the thing, a lot of people keep, you still believe in AMC and all this stuff, and keep talking about it. Guys, I mean, like I said, we've done so much research for so many years. I fucking 1000% believe in every single thing. I mean, I've read the rules up and down. I think I know the rules of the stock market more than anybody that's not fucking like straight up in this type of industry. Even some people in this industry ask me questions. You can go through my DMs. I've had people that are in the industry and CEOs of companies asking me fucking questions. I know what they can do and what they can't do legally. Here's one of the things. Here's something I'm going to leave you with. I'm trying to get a hold of Patrick Burns. I would love to get a hold of him. I'm going to keep trying to message this man. One day, if me and Patrick Burns could have a conversation, I would do it on Twitter. We would do it on a space call. I think you guys would be so... You guys would learn so much valuable information. It's not even funny because I actually know the questions to ask him. I've watched every single one of his interviews. Now, if you're an AMC, does this sound familiar? In one of his interviews, now this would be one of the questions I wanted to ask him in Kevin's space, but he wouldn't let me ask him, or wouldn't ask that question. But one of the questions I really wanted to ask him, now, if you guys remember BDR, so one of the things when he was in Overstock and when he was a CEO, he was having an interview, and one of the things he said is somebody walked up to me before he knew all this, and he says, "This is how you know your company is being targeted." And he listed off six things to look for. One of the things he said to look for, and he never said why in the interview, he explained to every one of them, but this one, and I always wanted to ask him. He said, one of the things you're going to notice is you're going to start to see your company trading in stock exchanges you've never heard of before. Now, if you remember in AMC, we saw BDRs be created. AMC was suddenly trading on the Brazil Stock Exchange. It was trading on an exchange we've never heard of. One of the things I want to ask him is saying, the reason that they do this, Patrick, is it because they're able to use those things as locates. But since they're not inside the United States, is it because they're into different regulatory settings or different regulatory standards and reporting standards and things like that, that country doesn't make them do that? They can go and use manipulation through that they can't do in the United States? Or what is the reasoning for them to suddenly pull up on an exchange that was never on there before? And I can guarantee you that they use these for locates. Now, a lot of people used to talk about the tokenized coins. And I feel like they were right on some things, and I feel like they were wrong on some. Do I believe that they use tokenized MC? Thank you very much, man. I always appreciate that. Always goes right to little man formula, so I definitely appreciate that, my friend. But what the hell is it saying? I can't remember what I was saying. What were we just talking about, chat? I apologize. It's a long night. I'm insanely exhausted. I was watching Little Man all day. Can't remember what the hell I was talking about. I'm blanking out. Oh yeah, the tokenized things. God damn it, I'm blanking out again. I just remember we were talking about tokenized fucking assets. I can't remember, man. I know, yeah, lazy. I need to smoke quick or something. I'm getting exhausted. Brazil locates tokenized assets. Yeah, so that's one of the things I believe is for people were talking about the crypto assets and how they were using the crypto coins as locates and things with like FTX. And then you had all those people, no, there's no way they could, like Dave Lauer. So like Dave Lauer is a person I always talk to about regulations that, hey, do you believe they could do this according to certain things? And there's a lot of times he's like, well, yeah, I guess technically they could. And that's all I need to know. If you ever tell me, he goes, well, it's not heard of. I don't care if it's been heard of, Dave. I don't care. I don't give a fuck if it's been heard of. It doesn't mean they're not doing it. If I ask you if the market allows this because it can do this and this, and you say, well, technically, yeah, then okay, that's all I need. I promise you they're doing it. If I can think of it myself, they can think of it. They've thought of it way longer than it took them. It took them seconds to think of it. And if I thought of it, a random person, trust me, they're doing it. They said that for every single fucking share was backed by one, and it was supposed to be in CM Equities. CM Equities was the custodial. That means that all these countries, see, here's the thing with this, and this is what I was going to ask Patrick. So if they could do that with the BDRs, if they create these other exchanges, what could they also do that with FTX, Patrick? Because if FTX used a custodial that said that they had these shares in a vault, backed their coins, they bought the coins, why could they not then in return take those assets, use them as a collateral on an ISDA loan to create the supply of the shares? And I guarantee, and I would love to hear, I would love to talk to Patrick. And I think I would ask him questions you guys have never heard of. And you guys would learn so much of the dynamics and how the system fucking works and what it allows and how we could take advantage of that too. But if anybody knows how I can get in touch with him, because he is blocked, he blocks DMs. You can't DM the man. You can't DM the man directly. And I tried to message him on LinkedIn, but his shit's locked on that too, so I don't really know. I don't know how to get hold of him. But I see tons of people have him in space calls, so anyone can hook that up, let me know. That would be amazing. But does anybody have any questions at all? Anybody in the Discord? Like I said, guys, if you're coming in there, even 10, 15 plays a day, and I'm showing people TA. That's not what I'm doing in there. I do give plays in there, but it's not every single play I do, and I'm not going to always give out every play I do. I'm going to give out plays that are cheap too. I don't like to give out these, hey, here's $1,000 fucking play, you guys, because who's got $1,000 right now to go ahead and be like, well, I'm just going to go ahead and take a risk on these $1,000 fucking option plays. The ones I give out are like a couple $100. Hey guys, you could definitely 200, 300% this. I'm not complaining about that. Sweet. So again, if you're coming in there thinking, I would love it if it became one. You guys are all in there with how many hundreds. I look at the list right now. There's like 500 fucking people in there. Sweet. Don't be shy. If you know stuff, teach. We're all here to help each other, man. We're all here to fucking learn. So don't just sit there and just only come in there and talk if I do. Grow, learn, be friends, connect. This is what the movement's all about, right? Connecting with each other, learning and growing. And on top of that, defeating the fucking criminal 1%. So what do you think about the EPR stock as AMC and landlord that pays a monthly dividend as part of my play too? I mean, I haven't really looked into their landlords. You got to think, if that's their major landlord company, one of the things with that play is AMC is continuously saying that they're going to drop a lot of those leases with that company. So depending on what I would try and do to look into that play, if you really want hard answers, you could look into that. Try and find out with that company, when their leases end. Look at how many leases they have. What are their other, companies that there are? Maybe they're just doing it to AMC. But if that's the case, again, AMC is talking about either renegotiating rent or closing a lot of those leases with them. So that could affect them in the future, just so you know. But I can't say too much. I have not looked into that company at all, but that's just what I know, that AMC and those landlord type company stocks are a risk, because a lot of these people are getting out of these leases. A lot of these companies are going, office free. So they're definitely risky, but I feel like if you're better off going long-term down than short, or long, because again, this might be the peak of their revenue if their number one guys continuously. But again, like I said, you have to look for that. Look at how many AMC leases expire during which years, because if they have a whole bunch coming up next year, that could be the year that it drops pretty hard. So just look in the leases, and then you'll have your information on that one. Throw big shout outs to Roberts. Who's Roberts, man? You talking about the dude on Twitter? Big Rob? Well, we're feeling good, guys. Like I said, AMC, we're feeling good. Everything's crushing them under eventually here. What's the year? I hate to tell the dorks that read it, but the Monday numbers for Wicked. So they had a $16 million plus for Wicked on Monday. So these Monday numbers, again, you're looking at probably about 35, 28 million. So just today alone. So you might start the weekend at 1.1 million or 1.1 billion. And if they have a $300+ billion or $1 million weekend, you're already looking at 1.4 million or billion. God damn it. I need to go to sleep. 1.4 billion by the end of the weekend. So again, Sonic's going to do a couple $100 million in this quarter. Lion King's going to do a couple $100 million in this quarter. I still believe that those two combined will do about $500 to $600 million a piece. Wicked, Gladiator, Moana 2, Wicked, Gladiator combined, they should easily do 1.3, 1.4. Like I said, you still got about 1.6 billion coming hard. Sorry, but anyone that thought that was a sexual reference, that was actually funny when I said that, but you got a lot of money coming. You have a lot of money coming the rest of this quarter for AMC. You're going to see literally AMC great news, great press release, great press release going forward from the rest of this quarter. So, again, guys, we're feeling real good here. So, does anyone have any questions at all? Does anyone need, again, here's the Discord link one more time. MC, if you're not in my Discord, please join my Discord, my friend. I would love to have a conversation with you. I know you give 20 every time, so I'd definitely love to say thank you, my friend. So please jump on in there, and let's check out the notifications. How are we looking? Anything else going on today? Maybe we'll see something before we shut this off. Oh, cool. Oh, I did see Gladiator 2. Super good movie, dude. Super good movie. God, I really enjoyed it, and I love the first one. I'm not gonna say it's as good as the first one. Let's be real, but Russell Crowe was amazing that first one. But this was really, really, really good movie. I love this movie. But let's just make sure we got nothing else going on quick before we pop it down. Oh, here you go. Little XRP. What's this? Hong Kong's largest bank launches crypto, and it's going to be again on the Ripple network. So, again, guys, I'm not, like I said, I know this is an evil thing, but in the end of the day, I'm going to profit off the evil thing before it fucking screws me. But once again, Ripple's now getting Hong Kong's largest bank. So again, all these countries are starting to adapt it. So don't be the one that's like, fucking A, I missed out on like I said, there's potentially a ton of money, and again, if they do that reserve wallet and they enact it, we can vote on it right now. And if we vote to enact the withholding on the reserve wallet, like I said, it cuts the supply in half, and the price just off that alone would fucking skyrocket. But I don't see anything else going on. I don't see any other chat. Oh, that begins if you do all the work that you do on AMC. Yeah, man. I mean, I will say I don't really like to push Twitter accounts or anything. Like, I don't really. I mean, if people do good work, you know that I show them on this channel. Like, I'm like, hey, I recommend this guy. They got great information. If you are in RXP and you're on Twitter, I highly recommend following Crypto Hulk. At Crypto Hulk 19, this dude does some fucking digging on RXP. Like, I've never seen anybody dig like this man before. This dude definitely knows what his shit on RXP, so definitely follow that account if you're in it. But hey, I do have, so nobody, just my last question, nobody had a problem today with my microphone? It was way better, correct? I'm hoping, I see somebody saying you didn't have sound, but I'm hoping it sounded way better. This is my good ass mic, so. But I don't see anything else. Yeah, my posts are always fucking suppressed. Alright, guys. Looking good, so I'll be going live here again real soon, and you guys all have a great night. Hopefully we see you guys all in the Discord. I'm going to drop that one more time real quick. If you didn't get the link, give me 1 second here. Let me drop that one more time. Again, if you guys are in the channel, you didn't get the link, boom. If you want to join the Discord and you didn't catch this live, catch the next one, and I'll drop the Discord every single show here. So like I said, we're all in this together. Yeah, I don't care if you don't like AMC, you can still come in there, and like I said, we don't have to ever, if you don't like AMC, guess what? There's other stocks. Just ignore the AMC shit. You don't have to come talk crap to somebody. We're not all in there to fight. If you're going to come in there and just start drama because you don't like shit, guess what? You won't be in there very long. We're all in there to grow. Everyone has opinions. It's okay. It's okay. And everyone that's going, well, you're getting all the money and all the shit moved away from AMC. Or we're actually making more money and putting that into AMC, and everyone's paying bills like we did the first week, where we made, again, 1,000% the first week. So, again, guys, we should always be willing to learn and grow. The one thing I will say, I do not have an affiliation. I do not have affiliation with Unusual Whales. But I will post their information sometimes, and I will post their flow on options. So, anyone that wants to cry or say I have some Unusual Whale affiliation, because that's what they'll do right away. Always pushing whales. I'm not pushing fucking whales. It's just what I use. I have to use something, right? Like, I have to use something. So that's all. That's all it is. I personally, if you want to learn and use, like, if you want me guys, if you're in the Discord, we can go ahead and do Unusual Whale courses, and we can all learn together. And then you guys can use it on your own, and you guys can follow the flows. You don't even need to do it. Like I said, it's all about us learning together, growing together, and beating this fucked up system in place. So, again, guys, there's the link one more time. Feel free. Don't have to wait for me to talk, guys. You can go in there, make friends, and learn. Like I said, that's what it's all about. So, talk to you guys soon. Thank you, and have a great night.